Fine. Oh, from Montreal, I was hoping for a French speaker. No worries.
I'm a bit croaky today, so you have to excuse my voice.
No worries, not worry. Nice t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I thought I'd represent. I know you're going on tour with these guys. And actually, I'm from the UK, and
okay.
I do know Brady from the group.
Oh, nice. Okay, I just met him virtually just by email, so I'm looking forward to meet him.
How's everything in Johan world?
Johan world is fucking busy because I do own restaurants, and I got one which is for which I'm rebuilding everything, the concept. I'm doing some work and so on. So with the tour coming, the album going being released and so on, I'm like, I have no life. Really no life at all. So I'm really looking forward to go on tour. It's be refreshing. I know it's gonna be difficult to manage the stuff being on the van, but that's the thing I like the most, is being on the road. So hopefully everything's gonna happen and we can enjoy the thing with the guys from Conjurer.
So you mentioned the new album which just came out, and the reaction from where I've been sat has been very, very positive. How has it felt for you guys?
Really nice, honestly, really nice. We were super stressed because for us it was a big leap. I mean, this album, what we've done for it, the way we've written, all the experimentations we've done on that album, we felt like, okay, maybe our core fans won't like it. Of course, there were people a bit pissed, a bit disappointed, but mainly the reactions were amazing, really amazing, and also all the reviews in the press and so on. I wouldn't imagine better reaction so far.
Yeah, so obviously you guys have been together quite a while now. Like, I think this is going to be your 17th year together.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How like, I listened back to some of the earlier stuff early today, and there's a noticeable change in your sound over time. What do you think are the main things that have improved or changed over the time that you've been in the band?
The more you write, the pickier you are with the stuff you do. Sometimes you feel like, okay, writing stuff is fucking annoying because you feel like you already written all the riffs you can do, and you are always thinking like, okay, this one is shitty, you need to find the right direction to reinvent yourself and so on. And also so it's getting more difficult, but hopefully I think you get better ideas because all the bad ones you just throw them. And also, there was a huge development in the band because we tried to have some directions since, I would say, the first album until Morten. It was to do some fucking violent music, the bleakest we could imagine, and we even thought that we would go as it was until the end. But after Morten, we felt like, okay, maybe we've done our best on that direction. So how could we not improve ourselves, because we were super happy with what we were doing, but how could we just do something different, which still means a lot to us and still make us enjoy writing music and being on stage. And so there was a few developments which were mainly on to work more on the melodies, and also more on I would say metallic kind of music, because we were a bit more hardcore, I would say, hardcore vibe. There was an hardcore vibe in our music, and we were more interested in the metal scene. So we were trying to put more metal in our music. And for the last album, the idea was to just think outside the box, because even if we were trying to make some new things in the past, I felt like maybe we were a bit too shy. Actually, we were like even shy between among each other, because sometimes when you bring some riffs at the rehearsal, it's a part of you that you're bringing, and even if it's for your friends, long-time friends, you're always thinking like, okay, are they gonna like it? Won't they like it? And yes, we are really picky, and we are straight all together. I mean, when something is bad, we just say it, you know. So we were maybe not fully free to write maybe all the things that were really deep in us, and that we were sometimes thinking like, okay, maybe that's not the right thing for the band, which was, I think, a bad idea, because for that album we just felt like, okay, I want to do this, let's do this and see what happens. And that's why it's so different.
Can you give me examples on this record of things that you don't think you would have tried before?
First of all, there are some lead guitars. That's something we've never done before. I remember when I did propose for this album the first lead guitars, it was on the instrumental song A, which is full of lead guitars. That was the main idea behind this song, and that's the perfect example. I've written this song fully, and then show it to my friends, and I was like, okay, they will say that what the fuck, he decided, it doesn't stick to Celeste. And I was surprised that they were like, okay, that's a good idea, should be on in the album. And then it opened our mind to bringing some lead guitars to our songs, and actually there are lead guitars in every songs now. And so that was a great improvement for us, and it's a really, really good thing also to, as I said, since we want to develop melodies, bringing lead guitars is a way to cross melodies and to bring harmonization to the stuff, which was a really, really nice thing for us. And also, when you listen to the very beginning of the album, there's this drum pattern, which is really new for us. That's something which would, I mean, if I came at the rehearsal before and say, okay, let's try to make something like this, my drummer would have been like, what the fuck? So what was interesting here is that since there was the pandemic and so on, we had to write things at home. So I was alone with my computer and say, okay, I have this idea at the drums. Let's download a software with which I could write some drum parts. And then I was like, okay, let's try this. And then I show it to my drummer. He was like, that's gonna be difficult, but it was super open-minded. I thought, okay, that's some ideas I wouldn't have myself, and I think it's good. So let's try to keep them on the album.
Because it's one thing to do that on the record in a studio, but if he's going to have to do it live all the time, he needs to be confident with that, right?
Yeah. But hopefully, I mean, we have tried to not be too stupid and write some stuff that is totally undoable. So we had some chats together, and when I was too silly ideas, he was like, okay, Johan, no, that's something I just can't do. I couldn't do it live, so just forget about it. And so I was fine with the idea.
Yeah. So I know you've also got some female vocals on this album. Emily Marks, there's some vocals on it. Is that something that you've explored before? Is that new for this record?
That's also, I mean, that's a song I've written, and there was this post-rockish part in the middle, and I directly knew. I loved the part. I loved the melodies. That's the main idea I had when I've been writing these melodies at the guitar. And but I knew I couldn't sing on such part because it would just sound shitty, and I don't know how to sing. I mean, I scream more than I sing, and so I was like, okay, that's not a bad thing. That's an opportunity to take, and we have to find a featuring. But it just came. That was just the situation that made that bring the idea. And so I was seeking for a while for a girl, and by the way, she's a girl from Manchester. So maybe a friend of yours, I don't know. Someone I met on the internet. That's funny, but I'm really happy with what she done for us.
Yeah, it sounds great, and it fits with your sound. Like, even though it's something new, it doesn't feel like it's kind of out of what you've done before. It kind of it feels to me like it's just taken the sound and expanding it, which I feel is what you want to do, right?
Yeah, but that's funny because we are super concerned super stressed when we take such decisions. We feel like, okay, people won't like it. Female vocal for Celeste, that's so special and so on. And at the end, it's always the same. Everybody says, oh, yeah, that's just a good idea. Why don't you do that more often? Well, I mean, it's just how bands do. They have some ideas, they just bring them and put them on record. So that's why I was talking to you about open-mindedness. Not that we are so close-minded, but sometimes it's been 17 years. We are all together trying to build our sound, but we are really focused on only on this, and not that we really care. I don't want to be rude. In a way, we don't care about what people think, but I don't know why. There's something behind us that is like, okay, what? It's not that we do that we care what they think. It's just that we hope they will like. I don't know if you understand the difference.
Yeah, I understand the difference, and I think all artists feel like that to an extent, and that's what sometimes holds people back, and sometimes leads to them, like you say, you don't care, but I think you need to not care to an extent, so that you can keep moving forward, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we need freedom for sure, and also, yeah, we really want something when we really think it's the best way to do. We just don't fucking care. And that's also, by the way, just rebound on that. That's also what was also a concern when we signed with the Nuclear Blast. Mm-hmm. When we say you sign with such a label, we feel like, okay, are they gonna just say, okay, do this, and do this? And no, they were just like, okay, do your stuff. We don't care. Which is a good thing, by the way.
So you mentioned the deal with Nuclear Blast, which came about last year. What's changed for you because of that?
For what we've written, nothing. Because first of all, we started to write the album before we knew it would happen. And then because all the discussions we've had were like, okay, we would love to sing with you, but we want to keep all the artistical side the same. So we want to do nice artworks. We want to have the budgets to do some nice vinyls. We want to do some video clips who are gonna be maybe not really appreciated. I mean, some kind of violent, artistic. I mean, if you watch not all the video clips, but most of the video clips on Nuclear Blast, they are really different than what we do. So we were super surprised that such label was interested by our music, because we feel so different than most of the bands. But then we saw that they signed Alceste. Then we knew they would do Hangman's Chair on all. It's also French bands, by the way. So we felt like that there was some kind of new wave coming in, and we felt like, okay, even if we are still maybe one of the weirdest band in the roster, we are not like so different now that there are these new band coming out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the main idea was to say, okay, that's amazing to work with you, but we won't change a dime. We're still us. The only thing we are open to is to do much more promotion, because we think it's really nice for the development of the band. Not that we want to sell so many records, but we do enjoy being on tour, having some people showing up at our shows. So the best way is to have your music spread as much as possible.
Yeah. So you touched on the artwork there, which seems to be a big part of your identity as a band, for sure, and it always has been. And I know that you're a big player in that part of the band. At what point did you decide that you wanted to focus so much attention on a certain style of artwork, and how do you think that's continued throughout the band's development?
So yeah, as you said, I do take care of all the art direction. I don't do the pictures myself. I work with photographers, but they are my ideas that I try to develop through the help of the people I'm working with. And to be honest, since the very first day, I had some kind of vision for the band. When we started up, I really didn't know we would last for so long. I'm really grateful for that, by the way. But I was like, okay, music is something, but you can bring many aspects all around the music to make it give you a lot more emotions, to bring interest, and to also I also like when people try to interpret our stuff. I mean, always, to my opinion, what we propose is not only music; it's some kind of art form. So there's the music, there's the artwork, there's the album title, there are the lyrics, and the idea is to make all them stick together and to have an album that is a kind of art piece. And then there's the discography, which is our discography is also an artistic portfolio, you know, and I want everything to make sense all together, you know, because I think it's really interesting. First of all, if a listener can also try to care not only about one album, but about what everything is aside. And so when you see an album cover artwork and you see another one and you feel a link, then you're teased, you know, you want to see what's going on next, or what's happening before, because of course today there are many people discovering us, especially thanks to the help of Nuclear Blast. And I really want them to feel like, okay, I really want to dig in. I like this album. I love this song especially. But so what's behind that? What's the idea? What kind of emotion does it bring me? How do I interpret their stuff? If someone doesn't speak French, there's also still a language by the music and the artwork itself. Mm-hmm. And so I think, I mean, also sometimes I compare the music as movies. And I don't know if you felt this cinematographic side of Assassin, by the way.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely something we try to build. And also because we love when people listen to the whole album, because to our opinion, it makes even more sense. The best thing for me is someone who buys the vinyl or the CD, waits for it, put it on a player, take the album, open it, try to watch, check the lyrics, open the booklet, see the pictures and so on, and try to feel much more things than he would if he would just go on Spotify and just play one song and just then listen to something else. So all that stuff is for the same meaning. Try to make people involved in our stuff.
And that visual side even carries through to your live performance, right? Like I've seen the headlamps. Is something that you always do when you play? Yeah.
There's gonna be a little bit more for the new set, because we've developed many new ideas, such as video projections, and we are working with the light engineer, which helps us to improve the stuff. But that's still the same idea. I mean, the album is something, and if you like the album, the idea is to bring even the album 2.0 through the live experience. And experience is the word, by the way, because we really want people to come at the show, some kind of just show up, go in front of the scene, lose their mind for 1 hour, and just wake up and say, okay, what the fuck happened? And again, the experience is the thing. I'm really picky. As many guys who do write music and play music, I guess that I'm less interesting to watch some shows, because we're always on the road and we're watching a lot every year. But I would still be interested to see a band live if I know that there's something more than just 4 guys on stage and a few lights, you know. So that's what we try to do too.
If you could choose one band to go on tour with that you think their fans would appreciate your music, who would you want to go on tour with?
Holy shit. To be honest, I stopped listening to music since a while. I go for some friends, and by the way, and not only because they are friends, but I really still love what they do. It's a Japanese band called Even in Our Arms. I love their melodies. By the way, Catstad, one of the guitar players, they wrote 2 things that we've put on the album.
I think that's why I know the name.
Yeah, right. You're right. So yeah, I would definitely invite them. And by the way, we've played with them. It's always so enjoyable to play with them.
Okay. Yeah, I was interested to see what you would say, because I kind of, somebody might lump you in with the black metal scene, or
No.
and I know that that's not really something that you particularly associate with.
No.
Well, they might try and put you with other French bands, because there are other French bands that we know well who are not a million miles away from your sound, but they're still very different. So I was interested to see who you would come up with, and you surprised me with the answer. So
yeah, but you're right in a way. I would say touring with Hangman's Chair or Alceste is something we would love to. We played with Celeste a few times, and it was always pleasant. Hangman's, we know them. We always cross them in the road. They've become friends, and we know. We know we would enjoy being with them. And by the way, we're gonna do. We already have a tour book with them, and by the way, honestly, Conjurer, I didn't know them before, and since I knew we would play with them, I'm playing them on repeat. That's something I really love, and I know by what they write that we have pretty much the exact same musical background. I'm pretty sure they also listen to some hardcore punk rock stuff also, not only metal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure you're going to get on with them really well. So
yeah,
you've got that tour coming up, and then what's going to happen after that? Any plans to come this side of the Atlantic yet?
We've done it twice already, which is nice. And but I mean, with the COVID, it's so difficult to plan for things. So first of all, we must be pragmatic and a bit safe in our approach, and try to make to book things that are sure. We're never sure right now, but that are many chances to happen. So we are focusing more on Europe first. But to be honest, the next thing we want to do is Southern America, because we've never been there and we love to travel. And the idea at the end of the band is that we've traveled all over the world. So that's one of the things we want to do. And if we do go to the Southern America, there are pretty good chances that we're gonna move to the USA. And of course, we've been in contact many times with people from Montreal and Canada, and that's we've never been here, and that's something we really want to do. Montreal, by the way, and it's not to please you, but we definitely want to come there, because we know we have some French-speaking people who are waiting for us, and also, of course, US and Canada are big markets by themselves, but we know from the Spotify stats that a lot of people from over here is listening to us, so it would be nice to come over here.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I would love to see you live. I didn't see you live yet, so fingers crossed. So one last question I wanted to ask you about, and this is a bit different of a question. Do you know the singer Celeste? She's from London. She's started to become quite popular recently, and to be honest, although it's a completely different kind of music, I think that she's really good. Okay. So I'm actually a fan of both. I'm a fan of her, even though they're very, very different. I just wondered, from your perspective, if that's annoying. I just wanted to know if you were aware of her. How do you feel about that kind of situation?
Yeah, to be honest, that's super annoying. She was called Celeste Waite first, and we already knew that she existed before. She wasn't that famous. And then she switched her name for just Celeste, which was really pissing. And to be honest, we had some people asked her for us if she could just go back to her first name, Celeste Waite, and she didn't want that. And we were like hoping she would never become famous, and we couldn't be more wrong. She just exploded. what the fuck? But I mean, that's good for, but it's really, not helpful for us. But what's funny is that I know that some people are seeking for the girl on the internet, and they are ending on our stuff, and I really like the idea that they're gonna listen to metal. I even have some people who bought our records and felt like, and they wrote a message to us and say, okay, what the fuck is this music? I'm good with that. That's still some good stories to
yeah, that's fantastic. I like that idea too. So you never know what might happen. There might be some nice positives that come out of it.
And by the way, I don't know if it's still there, but have a look to Last FM, the website, and I know some fans mixed up us on stage and her singing for us. So yes, and it's really, really funny.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best with this album. I genuinely love it. I'm a big fan, and I have been for a long time. And hopefully I'll get to see you play very soon. But enjoy the tour with Conjurer. I'm sure that's going to be amazing. And thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much.